So we've talked about Zelensky. We've talked about his ties to Kolomoisky. But let's talk a little bit about this article. That was a really good article. You should read it. I think it was Kanekoa Substack. And they tie Kolomoisky with Burisma, with Hunter Biden, because this guy's a billionaire oligarch. And he, of course, as you know, he funded Zelensky's campaign. He funded his show. He funded Zelensky. And of course, he was also funding the Azov battalion, as we went over last week. But let's read a little bit of this. So the real person who was a benefactor to and the boss of Vice President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, at the Ukrainian gas company Burisma Holdings was not the CEO of Burisma Holdings, which was initially thought to be Mykola Zlochevsky, but it was instead Igor Kolomoisky, who was part of the newly installed Ukrainian government, which the Obama administration itself had actually just installed in Ukraine, in what the head of the private CIA firm Stratfor correctly called the most blatant coup in history. So shortly after the Obama's administration's coup on March 2nd of 2014, Kolomoisky, who supported Yanukovych's overthrow, right, supporting Victoria Nuland, Jeffrey Pyatt, was appointed to be the governor of Dnipropetrovsk, Ukraine.
Close enough.
Hunter Biden, with no experience in the industry or region, would join Kolomoisky's Burisma Holdings 2 months later on May 12, 2014.
Fam, don't you like the way he points out, though, the fact that it's like Obama and you remember seeing Zelensky doing that little speech? Obama, the real president, the only president that matters. Yep. It's like, look how it's there. He's connecting the fucking dots here. Go ahead, fam.
And so there was a study in 2012 of the Burisma Holdings done in Ukraine by the Anti-Corruption Action Center, the ANTAC, which is an investigative nonprofit co-funded by American billionaire George Soros and the U.S. State Department. Great people you got there. And they found that the true owner of Burisma Holdings was none other than the billionaire oligarch Igor Kolomoisky. And of course, this was funded to dig up corruption on Viktor Yanukovych, but instead they found that Igor Kolomoisky managed to seize the largest reserves of natural gas in Ukraine.
I want to say this too as well before you continue on. We had this discussion the other day.
Yeah.
They've made it so that you're a stupid right-wing tinfoil nut job if you mention George Soros. Everything is blamed on George Soros. I said, I don't give a shit. In this situation, when it comes to Ukraine, his dirty actions, Soros's real dirty actions where he gets his nitty gritty is in Ukraine. Talking about what he did in 2012 and in 2013, starting these independent news conferences that kind of fueled these revolutions and whatnot to overturn the government. He was all a part of it. In fact, he was one of the main players in it right now. So don't be afraid when it comes to Ukraine to say his names. George Soros is a piece of you know what, and he's behind a lot of the stuff here. He's part of the whole circus, fam. They all work together.
Right. And so a lot of people didn't know that Kolomoisky was behind all this because Burisma Holdings changed owners in 2011 and it was taken over by this offshore Cyprus enterprise called Brook City Investments. And then it moved addresses and then two Ukrainian companies, these gas companies, which happened to be also owned by Kolomoisky through the offshore entities in the British Virgin Islands. And of course, they were also in the Pandora Papers. And you can see here, this is a picture of the name of the company. And there's a picture of Igor Kolomoisky. There he is. He controls 3 private gas companies and they're very, very large gas companies. So he happens to be in control of that. He happened to be participating in Burisma. He happened to have connections to Hunter Biden. He happened to have connections to Zelensky and also funded the Azov battalion. All coincidences, nothing to see there. So again, it's the same guy, right? It's the same guy. In other words, Hunter Biden's boss and the benefactor of Burisma Holdings is the same Ukrainian billionaire oligarch who also claimed the position of boss and benefactor over Zelensky before he blamed Ukraine's president. He also owns the 1+1 media group. That's the same media group that pushed Zelensky to fame. And he holds a net worth of $1.8 billion, making him the 1,750th richest person in the world. And he owns holdings in metal, petroleum, and the media sector. And of course, we know about his history with Zelensky. And so this is what I mentioned earlier. If you go back before this conflict, you can look at Newsweek, you can look at The Guardian, you can look at every major mainstream media outlet how they talked about the white or the band-right fascist nationalist problem in Ukraine. Here's an example. Newsweek: groups of right-wing Ukrainian nationalists are committing war crimes in the rebel-held territories of eastern Ukraine, according to a report from Amnesty International. And armed volunteers who refer to themselves as Adar Battalion have been involved in widespread abuses, including abductions, unlawful detention, ill treatment, theft, extortion, possible executions. The Adar Battalion is backed by Ukrainian oligarch Fyodor Kolomoisky, who allegedly funds the Azov, Donbass, DNEPR-1, DNEPR-2 volunteer battalions operating under orders from Kiev. So this is another neo-Nazi battalion, and he also funds them. Reuters: some of Ukrainians' private battalions have blackened the country's international reputation with their extremist views. The Azov battalion, partially funded by Taruta and Kolomoisky, uses Nazi Wolf's angel symbol as its logo, and many of its members openly espouse neo-Nazi anti-Semitic views. The battalion members have spoken about bringing the war to Kiev and said that Ukraine needs a strong dictator to come to power who could shed plenty of blood but unite the nation in the process. This is the Azov battalion. Reuters talking about this. This is, of course, prior to that time. And I think that was it. And then you guys can see.
Oh, this guy is just a hunk.
Our hunk.
Guy.
I mean, what's his name is going to play in Germany?
Oh my God.
Germany,
I got to see the video in Ukraine.
So notice this is a green screen, right? He's behind. He's a green screen, which only the Convo Couch can have a green screen. He's not allowed to have a. Okay?
How did he get?
And his hair has a fan. Where's my fan? For my hair.
Well, it's cold right now. We took the fan out. We haven't during the summer.
Because I need my hair to be like waving.
We got it in the wind and stuff like that.
Let's watch.
By the way, before this gets played, fam, I just want to say that if you do understand the history of Ukraine, it's one of those hot spots. There were Nazis that fought on the German side in World War II, part of Ukraine, that actually gathered up Jews to kill them and execute them in the Ukraine. So they always knew, the United States always knew that this is an area, it's a hot spot, it's very divided, and they can just throw fuel on the fire and just move the pieces they want, the pawns the way they want to get what they want. And that's why we're here today. They got that proxy war with Russia that they wanted to. They're trying to turn it into a next Vietnam. Can they do it? I don't know. But they knew they had the Nazis to twist and whatnot. Even though Zelensky's Jewish, that's a talking point. That means there's no Nazis whatsoever. Bullshit. So let's take a look at Zelensky. Watch his hair, fam says. Watch his hair.
We can see our military victories and enemies' losses. We expect that the fight will be over sooner, that the occupants will fail sooner. But it is life. It is war. It is a fight. We still need time. We still need patience, our wisdom, energy and ability to do our job at the highest level to reach the victory together. It is impossible to say how many days we still have to free Ukrainian land, but we can say we will do it because we want it. We have already turned a strategic turning point. We are moving towards our goal, towards our victory. It is a patriotic war, a war against a very stubborn enemy which does not pay attention to thousands of its own killed people, killed soldiers, which collects reservists and conscripts to throw them into the hell of this war. Across our entire territory this spring, as much as any spring, we must make a full-fledged sowing campaign. As much as possible, it depends on people and situations, because it is about life. Life is important. It is about our life, our dreams, our future, and hence our victory.
So, virtue signaling, word salad, the same as
see that, fam?
here.
He gets a thumbs down, fam. He gets a thumbs down. For
but what about his hair? His
hair? Oh, his thumbs up for the hair. Come on. That beautiful Jeremy Renner hair over there.
That's his name, Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner is going to play the part of Zelensky. Like I've said before, you want to talk about real traitors to their own country. That guy right there, who I believe is also a billionaire and has a lot of money, a lot of houses elsewhere, whatnot. He's very well compensated. Everybody knows what's going on there right now. I always shouldn't say everybody knows what's going on, but in the independent media, the people who've been following this for a long time, they know all this shit right here. They know the crap that's going on. We can call bullshit 1, 2, 3. We just got to continue to spread the information out there and wake people up to what's going on. This is some of the most disgusting shit I've ever seen in my life, because at the end of the day, the United States wanted to turn Ukraine into a Vietnam situation. That's bad for the Russians. And it really is. But it's awful, fam. Disgustingly awful for the people of Ukraine and its citizens. All of them. Yes. No matter what ethnicity they are, no matter what language they speak, this spells hell for these people. And it's like the little crows we had up there with the United States. And here comes some guy, Ukraine crow. Hey, what's going on? He goes, beautiful. He goes, it's awesome, especially because of that thing over there. And it's the Russian box. He goes, you know what's in there? Corn. Oh, I want some corn. The bird goes over and just blows up. And the British and the French flag crow look at the United States when you're dark, Ron. I don't care. They don't care. They never gave a shit. They treat people like lab rats. Yeah. They don't
dispensable.
Care. Disgusting. And that's what the United States did. The West did to the people of Ukraine. And Zelensky was part of it. Molesky was part of it. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, Mitt Romney, all the fucking neocons. McCain went over there. They all should pay a price for what they did to the people of the Ukraine. Lindsey Graham, that bastard, I want to mention him, who should be locked up, thrown out of Congress right now. But yet, they don't fucking even suspend him. They don't take his tweet down. They prop it up, fam.
Yep. That prop up warmongers. That's what the U.S. does best. And now Hitler.
Oh, God.